Hi, it's Frank from Canadian Tropicals. Made a really cool discovery this morning that I want to share with you. An exciting find this morning in the garden. One of my potted eucalyptus, Eucalyptus pulverulenta. It's a zone 8 eucalyptus and it's only about 3 feet tall. And today it is now in full bloom. Now, what you're actually seeing as a bloom are the stamens. The flower itself has fused and created these bases at the bottom of the plant, or the bottom of this flower. So the petals have fused together, and what you're seeing is the actual flower are the stamens popping out with the pistil in there in the middle. So, exciting find this morning to find this plant is blooming, and this tree in ground in the wild can grow up to 30 feet tall. And that's why people shouldn't get scared of those heights if they're looking at a potted plant, because once you put these things in pots, their genetic traits change drastically, and the pots really do control their size. So, like I said, this plant is only about 3 feet tall, and it's already in full bloom. It's still small, so it still wants to lean over a bit. That's just a common feature of eucalyptus in our climate. As they get bigger, they will straighten up. In fact, I have one in the ground that I can show you. This one is in the ground, and it's about 6 feet tall. It too is blooming, but just a couple of blossoms on the main trunk, and that's it. It's not staked up at all anymore. The stake is just there for it to have something to lean on in heavier winds, but the stake itself is not. Now, I can pull this over, and the stake is not holding this plant up at all anymore. You can see the plant is now thick enough it can stand on its own. So don't panic if your young eucalyptus is leaning. It will correct that over time. It's an example of what happens once you put it in the ground. Same age plant, this one is 6 feet tall. And because it regrows, if you look down at the base, because it regrows at the base, if in a pot it does get too big for you, just cut it right back and let a new branch become the new leader. So easy to maintain, small, hardy to about -12 Celsius. And good things seem to come in pairs, because I also found another plant that's starting to bloom. This is a Protea, scolymocephala. It grows to about 5 feet, but as I say with all Proteas, in a pot, you can enjoy them before they get too big for you. This thing is only a little over a foot, or 30 centimeters, 45 centimeters tall, but right at the tips, zoom in there, right at the tips, we have little flower buds forming, and this is October 15th. In the wild, this plant blooms in spring, and this is another one of the Protea that seems to say, hey, if I was in the southern hemisphere, I would be blooming October 15th. So I don't care that I'm in the northern hemisphere, I'm going to keep on blooming on October 15th. So this is an added surprise because this plant is also only a year old. It's still quite small, and it's already getting ready to bloom, and completely out of season for when it should be blooming here. It shouldn't be blooming here for another 6 months. But today has been full of surprises. Rounded flower head at the terminal point of each stem. And this redness, it's a bit of stress, but it's also normal in this particular plant. The tips of the leaves will also sometimes be red with new growth. But as you can see, if I go to the north side of the plant, it's green. If I go over to the south side, where it gets the cold wind exposure as well as the sun, it's red. And almost a straight line down. Almost a straight line down, dividing the green from the red. But like I said, this is an added bonus as well, because this Protea is not supposed to bloom for at least another 6 months. And for those wanting to grow this plant outdoors, it is a Zone 8 Protea, and it is rain tolerant. The leaves are much smoother than a lot of other Proteas, even at this young age, so you don't have the botrytis setting in. And here you can see on some of the new leaves there is that pinkish tinge, but at the terminal end of each branch there is a bud forming, and it looks like they're actually ready to open soon. Well, I will keep you updated on that. Once again, I'm just glad I could share that with you. Please remember to leave a comment below. And if you have time, check out my store on Etsy. The link's in the description. Thanks.